Hello, YouTube. This is going to be a slightly different episode than what we've normally done. As you've probably figured out, we love to go camping. We love RVing. We're on our second RV since we started this interesting trip. Our trip around America in 2021, we traded in our Rockwood Mini Lite for a Forest River R-Pod when we were in Texas on our way back from that trip. We've loved our R-Pod. It's an R-Pod 192. We've got a full walk around and some of the updates we've done to that trailer. We've had a lot of fun with that. It's now been to Alaska and back. But something, at least to me, is missing. I love the idea of going smaller. I love small RVs. They fit in more places. They're easier to tow. When we switched from the Rockwood Mini Lite to the R-Pod 192, we went from about 7, maybe 8 miles per gallon with the Rockwood to now we're getting 10, sometimes as high as 12. I mean, the highest I think we ever saw with the Rockwood was 9, maybe 10 miles per gallon. And now 10 miles per gallon is normal with the R-Pod, and sometimes we even get more. I've seen my trip computer saying as high as 13 and 14 miles per gallon towing the R-Pod. And some of you may have heard in previous episodes the mention of what was called a Tidewoods. Well, I've spent some time drawing on some paper, coming up with some plans, redrawing, changing those drawings, and I've come up with a floor plan for a trailer that I really, really like. As you can see, there's all kinds of interesting notes on it. I have been working on this literally for months. I've been drawing different plans. Over a year ago, I was drawing plans for an RV. And this was always kind of a fantasy, never something that was actually going to be pursued. Well, there was a day that I was thinking to myself about this trailer idea, and I recalled that I have a utility trailer out in the backyard. And a utility trailer is actually a boat trailer that had been converted into a utility trailer. And I just started thinking about this plan that we had and that trailer. And I went and grabbed myself a tape measure and went out in the backyard and did some measuring, and I realized that that utility trailer was like perfect size for this floor plan, for this RV trailer. So I came in the house and I mentioned to Sonia that I was probably in trouble, and I told her what I did. And it's kind of snowballed from there. And now we are looking at the possibility of taking that boat trailer and upgrading it and turning it into an RV. Now I need to make a caveat or a legal statement. I am not a contractor. I am not a welder. I am not someone who has built RVs before. I've never done it before. I have done some extensive remodeling on houses. I'm familiar with framing, with flooring, with electrical, with plumbing. I've done all of that residential-wise. I've also done a lot of upgrades to our R-Pod, as some of you probably have seen in past videos. The R-Pod, I went through and I took out all of their flexible braided line that was attached to PEX fittings, and I replaced it all with PEX pipe. I bought the tools to do it. I did that throughout the entire trailer. So there's no more of that braided flex line in the R-Pod other than the return hose from the shower head when you're doing the shower miser that takes it back to the fresh water tank. That was left in there because I would literally have to tear things out of the wall to get to that, and I don't want to do that. So that pipe is the only one left behind. I have upgraded the converter in the R-Pod. So I've done a lot of work with the RV that I'm familiar with and I feel comfortable with. But I just want to let everybody know this is not a video on the right way to do it. It's a video on how I am going to do it. But we're going to start a whole new video series here on the channel on the Tidewoods. I'm naming it the Tidewoods because Sonia loves the beach. I like the beach, enjoy going there, but I don't love it like she does. And I love the mountains and the high mountain lakes and the forest. Tide for the beach, woods for the mountains and the lakes. So I figured it fits. And some of the things that we're trying to do with this trailer, even though it's small, the overall size of the trailer, this is the actual camp box. The tongue will add some length to the trailer. The box itself is only 13.5 feet long, and the trailer from tip to tip is designed to be 17 feet long. Some of the things we wanted is we wanted a full-size queen bed, a full 60 by 80 queen bed inside, and a dry bath. Dry bath was really big on Sonia's need list. So we are planning a 24 by 32 full complete shower and a separate Thetford cassette toilet inside the bathroom, but it will have a dry bath. We're doing things a little bit different, as you'll see as we go down the road, barring any major difficulties and if everything goes together well. It'll have its own dining space, a small kitchen area. We're going to have a pantry and a hanging wardrobe area along with some other storage. We're looking at doing things a little bit different. For us, we like to boondock. Some of the campgrounds we go to are national forest campgrounds that have no hookups, no water, pit toilets. They may have a water spigot handy where you could fill a water jug, but they don't have any services at the sites. Those are some of our more favorite campsites to go to. So some of the things we're trying to do with this camper is I'm looking at a 460 amp hour lithium battery for the battery pack. We're looking at hopefully putting 400 to 600 watts of solar on the roof. We want to do a Thetford cassette toilet for us. For the way we camp, that appears to fit our camping style better. I guess we'll find out down the road if we get it, install it, and don't like it down the road. It wasn't the right choice, but in the research that we've done, it looks like it's the right choice for us. At those Forest Service campgrounds with a pit toilet, you can dump your cassette toilet in the pit toilet. Where some places you can't do that. And with a black tank in the RV, you can't dump into a pit toilet. You just can't do it. The kitchen is going to have a fixed sink, but the rest of the countertop of the kitchen is going to be open. And the idea is to have a propane cook stove that we can set up on the counter, or electric skillet, or some other cooking device that we can set up on the counter next to the sink, use it for our cooking, and that'll all be stored in cabinets below the sink area. The dinette, to help give this RV some more room, will have a folding top so that when we're not using it as an eating space, that it gives us more floor space inside. As I said, the box length of this RV that we're hoping to build is 13.5 feet, and the width is 7 feet 2 inches. This will be 4 inches about narrower than our R-Pod and substantially shorter than our R-Pod. So I did do a full 2-scale drawing of the boat trailer and how we want to build the floor. The floor is going to be 1x2 14 gauge steel tubing set up on edge so that it's 2 inches tall, 1 inch wide. and those are going to be spaced 18-inch on center. Some of the improvements I have to do to the trailer is, in the research I've done, the axle is a 3,500 pound axle. The goal with this, and I measured the trailer before I started all this work on it, it weighed just over 400 pounds. I'm hoping, doing some calculations with the steel that we're buying and all, I'm hoping that when all the steel framing is done and we're ready to start actually doing the actual box framing itself, that I'm under 1,000 pounds. And I'm hoping that when this is complete, rolling down the road, that I'm right around 2,000 pounds dry. And I want to keep the gross vehicle weight at or less than the axle weight rating. I know some RV companies will take the axle weight rating and the tongue weight of the trailer and combine those two to come up with a gross vehicle weight, and I don't want to do that. I want the axle to be able to handle the entire load of the RV. But some of the things we're looking at doing is adding shocks to the suspension. I want that for more stability, side to side. At the weights this trailer is going to be, I'm more than likely not going to be using a weight distribution hitch. The hitch really, with this style of trailer, is not really set up for a weight distribution hitch. Anyway, I am looking at Tucson electronic sway control box to wire the electric brakes into. I've already bought the electric brake kit for the trailer. I've bought new wheels and tires for the trailer. And as we start the process, the first process is to get the shocks and the shock mount situated so I can clean up and completely rebuild the axle, repaint it. I mean, this trailer's been around, it's been used, it's got some surface rust on it. I'm going to clean all that up, repaint it all, add the new steel to it. That all is going to be repainted. Some of the things we're looking at is I want to do a wall that is 2 inches thick of insulation. I'm considering right now doing PMF, or poor man's fiberglass, for the actual exterior waterproofing. One of the things we do like is a lot of windows. So I have got, I believe it's, let me think here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows planned for this RV. That is including in the door itself. We've looked at all kinds of different things. We evaluated what we think is going to work best for us. I've drawn up side shots of the trailer. I've looked at where things are going to fit. I've talked to my brother, who's a mechanical engineer, and he helped do some calculations as to weight in the trailer and is the axle in the right place. There's a lot that has gone into it even before we're going to start work on it. And I'm hoping that I can do this with cash on hand. I don't want to go in debt working on this trailer. And if this trailer comes to fruition and does come together and works as I'm hoping it does, that means we will probably be selling the R-Pod in the springtime. Hopefully, fingers crossed. One of the things that we've done on this process is Sonia is a very visual person. I can dream stuff up in my head that it's really hard to sometimes explain, and I'm not the best with words sometimes on explaining things. So she wanted to know what this trailer was going to be like. So I've done 2 different things. One thing is I pulled the truck out of the garage, broke out the painter's tape and the tape measure, and I measured out and taped the entire floor plan onto the floor of our garage, life size. I then went out to our camping equipment. We have a queen size camp cot. I set that up where the bed would be. I set folding tables up where the kitchen and the dinette area would be. Our refrigerator for this that I've been looking at and we actually own, we bought it on the trip up to Alaska to bring fish home in, is a set power, dual zone, dual compartment cooler, 12 volt cooler. The nice part being 2 compartments is you can set one for a freezer, one for a refrigerator, and there's outside controls to control the temperature for that. We're going to have that sliding underneath the wardrobe and the pantry. These are some of the ways we're working on minimizing space. So I set all this up in the garage, and she was able to walk out and see how things were situated, the size of the trailer. That really helped her. And the other thing I did was I sat down with some cardboard and came up with a 2-scale cardboard model of the Tidewoods. And it's actually helped out a lot in being able to visualize and come up with ideas for storage. I mean, I want to use every spot in this rig for storage. We're just really trying to brainstorm the best way to do this. But I really think we're on to something. I'm really looking forward to working on this trailer, and I hope you guys enjoy coming along for the journey and seeing if this crazy idea of mine actually works. All right, so we're going to do a quick walk around the 3D Tidewoods. Up front, I'm planning on building an enclosed compartment that we can put our propane in. I'm hoping to carry our bins with repair stuff, with our water, with our electrical, all the hookups and stuff we need. I want to carry a lot of it in here. This will actually be the window for the kitchen. And then come around here, you've got the door. The door will have its own window. I'm thinking about building my own door instead of buying a pre-made door and putting in a window that actually opens. This would be the dining area window and a bedroom window. We are going to go a little bit smaller than this window. Found some different things, and I'm just trying to save some money here and there. So we're going to go with a slightly different size window, but there will be 3 windows on this side. Come around back. Sorry for bumping into the chair, making noise. We'll have an escape hatch window in the back. This will be another bedroom window. Opens. All the windows will open. This is the bathroom window. You'll notice there's different slopes to the roof. I designed it this way for water runoff. The roof will not be flat. I'm intending on building it as a walk-on roof, but I wanted everything to be sloped so that it would help with water runoff. You come inside, you got your kitchen area. Not exactly sure which side the sink is going to be on yet, but that will be worked out and figured out. And then this will be all cabinets and storage underneath here. The bathroom, you've got your shower area in the front. There'll be a skylight for extra height in the shower. And then of course the Thetford cassette toilet. This area here is going to be the wardrobe and the pantry. And then this area in the bottom is going to be where the set power cooler goes. This is the dining area. The idea is to have storage underneath here. I'm thinking about building both a waste basket area and also a clothes hamper area in this. But then the top will be able to flip down so you can have a couple of chairs and eat looking out on your campsite. When you don't need the whole table up, you can fold that up and have more walk space. And then of course the 60 by 80 true queen bed. Underneath the bed, I'm planning on having like this half of the bed. This part will lift up and you'll have your water tanks, your water heater, your water pump, battery, the 2000 watt inverter. I'm going to put as much of that underneath the bed as I can on this half. The second half will be outside storage. Planning on having a couple of doors outside for a pass-through storage for the other half of the bed. And then I am planning on doing this 45 degree on the back coming up, because the metal framing for the floor will end here, and then this will all be wood framing up here. And I do have the set power cooler right here. Of course, I got so much stuff on it I can't open it, but it's a good size cooler. We've used it. It cools down really fast. It doesn't draw all that much power, and it seems to work really well, so we're looking forward to that. So that's my crazy idea. We're going to move forward. I'm hoping to get to work on it here fairly soon. So we're actually starting work on the Tidewoods. So the boat trailer had some metal angle iron and some other steel that I did not want on it. So just the initial process of working on it, I was going around cutting off that metal that I didn't want and then grinding things clean so that it was relatively smooth metal that I can start working on down the road as things progress. It's actually a bit of work. I ran through several of my batteries trying to use my cordless angle grinder, but it worked out, so it was all good. And then I took a little spray paint and hit the bare metal areas because the trailer was still sitting outside and I didn't want it to rust. Well, I think our first package for the Tidewoods trailer has come in. Let's take a look. It's good and heavy, so I think this is the brakes. Another box is coming for the trailer build. Got some new wheels. With the changing to electric brakes, the lug pattern changed to a 5 by 4.5, which the old one is a 5 by 4. So the old wheels will not work. Done some research and found these. These are Rough Country steel wheels. They were $54 a piece. They're more than adequate for weight handling for the trailer, for what I'm hoping to obtain here. And I got 3 of them, 2 for the axle, 1 for the spare, so the spare will be exactly the same. Sounds like my tire shop has the tires I'm looking at for this, and hopefully we'll get those installed soon and show you some video of that when we got the tires installed. All right, so what I was just working on is the spring perches for this trailer are actually U-bolted on. They're not welded on. We're going to change that. They're going to be welded on as I finish this. But they were both just a little bit different in distance from the end of the trailer. I have checked the corners of the trailer with the tongue and made sure they are square, which they are. So I'm making these exactly 34 inches from the end of the spring hanger to the end of the trailer. Once I have those situated like they are, I've tightened the front U-bolts, but I'm going to take the rear U-bolts off. Now I'm going to work on aligning the shock mounts. I am going to put shocks on the trailer just to help with sway when going down the road. I know it's something that a lot of trailers don't have, but I want them on my trailer, so I've got the shocks. I've got the shock mounts. I just need to do some cleanup and some welding, and I'll be putting those on today as long as everything goes well. And we'll hopefully get that done, and then I can get the axle out, because I need to take the axle out and clean the axle up, clean the springs up, repaint everything after it's all clean, And I've got new rotors and electric brakes. This did not come factory with electric brakes. This is an old boat trailer. But the axle is rated at 3,500 pounds, and we are trying to make a trailer that gross vehicle weight is less than 3,500 pounds. So this is the shock that I bought. I bought it off Amazon. I'll do my best to link everything I buy in the description below. The tape is to hold it in place. In the full extension, it's 14 5/8. Fully compressed, it's 9 5/8 inches. And according to the manufacturer, the resting distance you want from center of eye to center of eye is 12.5, so the tape is holding it there. I've got a support plate. This is 10 gauge frame and 1/4 inch tabs for the shock, and we'll be welding the plate on to give the frame more support before welding the ears on for the shock mount. And then my friend Stan custom made these for the square axle, and those will be welded on as well, and that'll be the shock system for the trailer. So we'll get these all measured out, get them in place, and do some grinding to clear some paint off of the frame, and we'll start actually welding and putting this thing together. Pretty exciting. So we're getting ready to do the support plates. The support plates help it go from 10 gauge frame to the 1/4 inch shock mount ears. I'm not much of a welder. I used to take shop class back in high school many decades ago, but I've used some scrap. I've been practicing. This is my last attempt. I'm pretty happy with that. Feel like I'm getting good depth and starting to make them look like a real weld, so that's good. All right, we've got the fish plates welded in, including the plug welds. And that's what the upper shock mounts are going to get welded to. Got them both in. And as I said, I'm by no means a professional welder or a professional machinist. I'm just a DIYer. So yeah, it looks ugly, and I'm a grinder, not a welder. Well, we got the first shock positioned where it needs to be. The top will go onto the fish plate. The bottom are cut out for the square axle. Everything's been grounded off, so it's ready to go, and let's get to welding. All right, we got the first ones welded on. The ones on the axle itself, I'm going to wait till I get the axle off so I can access them a little bit better, but we'll get those welded on here and be good to go. Kind of got wrapped up in what I was doing. We have finished welding on the shock mounts on the frame. Got those all buttoned up. I then ran out of wire. Had to run to the welding store and buy some more wire. I have then welded on the shock mounts to the axle and have removed the axle. And I think I'm going to call it a day today.
So, we're off on another adventure.
Oh, we're on an adventure, all right.
This isn't one that we were planning for a long time.
Oh no, we weren't planning this thing. A week ago, it wasn't even a thought.
Like 4 or 5 days ago, it wasn't even a thought.
And here we are.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a thought. It just wasn't this time frame.
Right.
Okay, so what are we doing?
So, a little bit of backstory. I know those folks that have been watching our channel know that we've had a few issues with our Ford. I'm not bad-mouthing Ford. This has been a good truck. It has never left us stranded on the side of the road. But we are on our 3rd transmission. We are on, I mean, we've had a horn replaced. We've had the navigation computer replaced. We've been in the shop a time or two. and we are just now at 90,000 miles. We have been kicking around the idea of getting a different truck, and I know I've commented in previous videos that we were thinking about downsizing, so we have put $500 down on a new truck and we're driving to Idaho to pick it up. So a little addition to the backstory. This is not something we had not been thinking of. It's just we weren't expecting to do this now. We were looking at the idea of like August, September, October time frame of 2025 of trading the truck in and getting something else. Because it has not been something that it hasn't been on the radar at all, we have been thinking about this. We have done our research. We have test driven the Ford Ranger, the Nissan Frontier, the Toyota Tacoma, and the Chevy Colorado. I've watched countless videos of various car review YouTube sites and watched YouTube videos on the pros and cons of all of the rigs. We've sat in all of them. I have to be 100% honest. I'm really gun shy of getting another Ford after the issues we've had with this one. I'm not, again, not trying to knock Ford. I'm just saying we've had issues with this truck. And I know there's people that have bought Ford's F-150s that never had a problem.
Well, and we didn't for 63,000 miles.
Right. Yeah, for the first 63,000 miles, we
had
didn't
not
have
one hiccup.
Glitch. Yeah, so we did a lot of research. We've done a lot of test driving, and we have decided after all that we were leaning towards the Chevy Colorado. And just recently, Sonia had a feeling that maybe we should look at this sooner than later. And I happened to get online and look at Dave Smith, and they just happened to have a couple Colorados that are like what we were looking for. Basically the base bones Trail Boss with no frills. And I got a hold of Dave Smith, and one thing led to another, and
here we are.
Here we are, driving to Idaho.
And at least today, it's a beautiful day.
Yes.
So far. Got sunshine, which we haven't seen for a while.
Well, here we are. Another day. We're hoping to pick up the new truck. We're at a Comfort Suites in Spokane Valley. And if all goes well, this will be the last day we drive this thing. Gonna miss it in some ways. It's been a decent truck. Not gonna miss it in other ways. It's been in the shop too many times for only having 90,000 miles on it. But it is what it is. Well, here we are. We've arrived at Dave Smith Auto. Driven by here several times, never stopped in Kellogg. They claim to be the largest Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler dealer in the world and the largest Chevrolet dealer in North America. And this is where our new truck is, somewhere. And here it is, the new truck. Hey, they put the Monroney in the back window.
Yes.
What do you think?
He looks nice. I really like the silver.
Yes, the silver does look very nice. Spray and bed liner. Oh, we even get snow. Is the snow an extra charge?
Well, I was actually going to get the snow out, but you guys beat me here. I can still get it out.
All right, we're at Best Western in Kennewick, Washington. We made it about, not quite halfway home, but about halfway home. We got about 3 hours and 45 minutes to drive today, and was able to kind of clean up and sort out the stuff in the new truck. But so far, so good. It's been running nice. It's comfortable. I figured out how to adjust the driver's seat so I'm not sitting so low. Yeah, so things are looking good. I'm enjoying it. Only a few more miles to go home.
A few.
And if the tripometer's right, I mean, I know the computer's just trying to learn everything right now. We're getting around 20 miles to the gallon, so I'm happy with that. Well, we've made it home. The ride was nice. Truck is comfortable. Ride's pretty smooth. We enjoyed its features. It seems to be pretty much what we were looking for, so that's a good thing. We think it's a good looking truck, and we look forward to many more adventures with it. We're going to do some add-ons, some steps, a tonneau cover. We'll take you through that process, and here in another video or so we'll do a nice walkthrough, kind of show you its features. Hope you enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.